Hello, TikTok people and social media people. We have a new tool relatively to the human race called the internet, which I believe is a resource. I believe it's transparency and education that transcends university educations in many respects in its connectivity should be respected. So this is why I'm going to read my letter to the judges, of which probably magistrates, which I'm supposed to attend, but I'm not sure I will because this beautiful individual, my mum, quite a stunner in the day, and still young at heart and beautiful, is going through quite a traumatic time at the moment, and she's on certain drugs which are having adverse effects, and you just want to be there 24/7 to make sure she's not losing too much fluid and that she's getting drips and stuff, and you just want to talk to doctors all the time. It's one of those situations at the minute. So this is the letter to judges. No time was given to attend the date on the correspondence, so I don't know what time I'm even supposed to turn up to the court. Dear judges, I do not consent to the manipulation of my paper fiction. I am attending my mother in hospital today, not present. The charges of assault are not legitimate. No emergency response worker interacted with me at any point on the date claimed. I was assaulted by individuals in hoodies, civilian clothes. I made weak attempt to defend myself. I am only sorry I did not do a better job of defending myself, and put the hooded members of the public, as I perceive them, in an ambulance to educate them as to what an emergency response worker looks like to members of the public, of which I am. Example: uniforms, identification of a unit, name and badges, occasionally numbers in police response cases. You know, that's what it should be as an emergency response worker, right? Something to identify them as them. The absence of identification poses a threat, a danger to everyone. I have no exception. The attack to my person was unwarranted, as is no evidence of a crime committed by myself. Innocent until proven guilty, as the people attacking my character, violating my image, using violative tools in a public place to generate defamation and slander, had my personal details for days, my name and my address, in order to respectfully bring me in for questioning as any professional would expect. I deem the attackers worthy of a disciplinary, worthy of training as to what an emergency looks like, and worthy of an education as to what identifying with professional, publicly funded team members that actually serve and protect look like. The said attackers showed bias, favouritism, took zero in evidence, just others' word, around a public house with agendas as excuse, reason of a criminally minded nature, to attack and gather campaign-like material in body camera footage for the very purposes of attempting to put my character decency at a disadvantage. Within the framework, within the system, this would not be the first time these people have abused their place, their tools, their network in order to compromise my integrity and safety. I am very aware of their deviant misappropriation of all of their flamboyant attacks in the past for nothing but political, hateful causes to put my identity at a disadvantage. They cannot be allowed to abuse their place, their funds, their resources in this way. It has still and is still posing as an act of criminality within the Met, within the police resources. I do not consent to my manipulation. I do not consent to social abuse as a citizen who chooses not to entertain an abusive benefit system or rely on the state handouts that compromise my path, that of an ace, that of a maverick, that of a class above who clearly has afforded all the wrong attention, misconduct via the police outfit, often infiltrated, I came to understand, for standing out, for standing above the crowd to accomplish my important goals for a greater good. I am someone with a brilliant working class history in authority at times, team leading positions. My mishandling is not appropriate for anyone with a social conscience. Innovation is only for Tesla genius, like some poverty mindsets, it would seem. To allow these attacks without disciplinaries, without dignified responses from police independent complaints commissions, that is criminal. I am not. Sincerely, kind regards, Laura Rickner, PTA. No time was present on the letter for my attendance on that day. Your date at court If you choose to allow police to put out a warrant and tax my overtaxed time further, shame on you. I spent days in cells for zero in crimes. My generating zero in victims already. I have been a victim of abuse. This much is true. This much is proven in the self-mastery I have sought as a result of all the mishandling. That's my letter to the judges, which I might hand in on the day. I might attend to say I attended to try and not be abused anymore. But we know that the system is abusive and it doesn't like people to shine, it would seem. In some cases, they've got an unnatural interest in me. I'm like the fascinator. They put around this shit and I'm really quite sick and tired of it, given the circumstances. Society needs to move with the times and it needs to show more compassion and consideration for people, because this is an age-old story. I've heard things like this in the past from other people. This is happening in a personal life, this is happening, but yet they are allowing people to basically stitch you up basically via these people. It's like, what have you got in evidence? Oh, okay, you've got me talking on CCTV footage to supposed hospitality workers that are showing all the 101 customer negative body language, crossed arms, surrounding you like hyenas laughing, and you're just talking passionately. Whatever you're saying, I don't know, because I was under the influence of rare nephews. And I can't even remember being there, but I walk out a shot. They followed me off the premises, which is inappropriate as members of staff. They're not security. What are they doing? Why are you following? Leave me alone. So that's intimidation in it's the first place. And all this negative body language. I was taught in customer service. I know what good customer service is. I consider myself an ace, a maverick at calming down everybody. If they're even on cocaine, you just stand in between and you calm down. Is it worth doing any time for? No. I was good at my job, yeah? So what they were doing was a 101 failure on camera. And I just, for the purposes probably of provocation, probably for the purposes of upset. You're supposed to show open palms to upset people. That apparently encourages understanding and a person relaxes. If you do that and you stand there like that with your arms crossed, you're provoking a vulnerable adult. And they know that as people that work within a pub setting. So if I walked off and they followed me off the premises, I don't know what had occurred after that. Supposedly I threw my pint. Supposedly. But innocent until proven guilty. I overshare on Facebook, and I noted that I did it back in 2018. That I was in a pub and I shared too much information online, and so you are therefore exploitable, isn't it? And this supposed public house, of which these people are saying someone got insignificant wounds, to an order and a response worker to attack me in a public place rather than come and take me into custody. This person works in a public house that was dissolved last year, which I find a little bit suspect, given that it's a very big film world borough, and I'm not made it yet. Don't get a penny in income other than my dad's generosity for caring for two very, very poorly people for quite a long time. A very long time. Not a penny. I don't ask it from the state anymore because I lost all faith in the state and certain structural organisations that have been abusing me. After that, it was too much for me to go into offices and answer to people that at one point was asking me to look for 50 jobs in a week. Unrealistically. So, as a member of the public that hasn't seen a dime in compensation, though I've been abused systematically quite a lot, I'm just putting this out there to say, and it's an example of a good citizen brought up in a square as anything household, where parents don't do any drugs or anything, and they expect you to be so disciplined that they break your back in, oh, you shouldn't do anything, but the world's full of drugs and the world's full of corruption, so everything's like a fall from grace in everything you do, even in security settings. It's like, oh, it's all balling and everybody's doing whatever, so your job's not to do your job in security anyway, and things like that. So you're always constantly learning, and experiencing levels of burnout, really, to a certain degree, when you come from a home that just watches Heartbeat on repeat and expects the bobbies to be the bobbies and not to be hoodies, malevolent hoodies that are trying to gather information at every chance they get and actually being really malevolent towards you, and you just feel like you need to get security to protect yourself or you need to get the best lawyer. And for some reason I think my emails are infiltrated because not one solicitor bothers responding. It's like, oh well, she's lost her, I think they think I've lost my right to human rights because I don't vote. Fuck off. Why do I want to vote for? Excuse me? I choose to exist outside of that particular system. People call it a matrix. I call it just a structure that we are forced around in. And even to the point that when you're at a job centre and you're actually complying, they don't even let you do your work placement in the right place. They send you to Orpington to do conservation training and make bird boxes rather than do a placement in a bird theatre where you wanted, and they thought, oh, I want to go in that direction. Now I don't even care what my direction is. Well, I do. I don't want any part of it. It's like I don't want to be manipulated by anybody. I just want to live my life, go travel, go to full moon parties, enjoy my life, see the world. But, you know, circumstantially, we have responsibilities, and I'm so happy and grateful for those responsibilities that are my parents. And I'm extremely stressed out for them in the fact that if you see the level of malevolence that I have within that organisation, you just go, where does it start? Where does it reach to? Why are people so spiteful? Why are they this? Why are they that? Why have they got better things to do? When you're in a ward full of elderly women that have broken bones and you see the suffering around hospitals, you just say, have I got any time for these people that are taking me to court for attacking an emergency worker? I'm standing on someone's steel toe cap boot, a part of PPE, because you're being affrontedly coming at people in cuffs. Why are you putting someone in cuffs 4 days later? You don't do that when you take people in for questioning. Why are you even doing that? So it's like all of it is just hokum and just trying to frame people and stitching people up. And they got better things to do in a world so full of fucking suffering that happens naturally with age and with being human. I can't stand the way they've behaved towards me. And it's just like, you're just gathering more information, is it? Put me in a cell with recording equipment, videos. I just stand underneath the camera in the blind spot the whole time. Fucking exhausting it is just staying in one spot, so you can't give them any material. I'm not here for their entertainment, and I soon they realise that, the better. Thank you for listening.